Why do you feel exhausted after scrolling for just 10 minutes? While someone else can scroll for hours and feel completely fine, you wake up. The first thing you do isn't stretch, it isn't breathe, it isn't even think. It's your phone. You scroll. One person just hit 100,000 followers. Another bought their dream car. Someone your age is traveling the world. Someone younger is already winning. And before your feet even touch the ground, you already feel behind. The strange part, you haven't done anything yet, but somehow you're already tired, not physically, mentally, like your brain is carrying something heavy you can't see. And the question isn't why you're tired. The real question is, why are you tired before your day even starts? This isn't about sleep. It's not about your diet. It's not even about how much you work. This is about something far more subtle, something that didn't exist 100 years ago, something that quietly drains your energy every single day. Comparison. And in the next few minutes, you're going to understand 3 things. First, why social media is exhausting you, even when you're just sitting still. Second, why some people scroll all day and feel fine, while others feel drained after 5 minutes. And third, how to remove this invisible weight without deleting your apps or disappearing from the world. But before that, let me tell you about Alex. Alex is 24. He wakes up at 8 a.m., checks his phone, scrolls for 20 minutes. He sees people building businesses, posting content, making money, living better lives. He gets up, makes coffee, opens his laptop, starts working. But something feels off. He's doing the work, but there's resistance. He keeps checking his phone, keeps thinking about others, keeps comparing. By 2 p.m., he's exhausted. By 8 p.m., he's done. Not because he worked too hard, but because something was quietly draining him the entire time. Now, here's what's interesting. Another person, same age, same tools, same opportunities, scrolls the same platforms, but finishes the day with energy, same inputs, different outcome. So what's the difference? It's not what they see, it's how they interpret it. Because the moment you compare yourself to someone online, your brain does something automatic. It measures distance between where you are and where they appear to be. And that distance feels like a gap you need to close, a gap that whispers, you're not enough yet. And the problem is, your brain treats that gap like a debt, something you owe, something you need to fix, something you need to work harder for. But here's the truth. You're not comparing yourself to a real person. You're comparing yourself to a highlight reel, a filtered, edited, optimized version of someone's life. You don't see their doubts. You don't see their failures. You don't see their empty days. You only see the peaks. And your brain builds a full reality from fragments. It fills in the gaps. And suddenly, you're not just watching their life, you're measuring yours against it. This is what psychologists call upward comparison. And it's one of the fastest ways to drain your mental energy. Because now, every action you take isn't just an action, it's a judgment. You start thinking, is this enough? Am I moving fast enough? Am I falling behind? And that constant evaluation consumes energy, more energy than the work itself. Think about it. 2 people create a video, same effort, same time, same process. One posts it and moves on. The other keeps refreshing, checking views, checking likes, comparing to others. Guess who feels exhausted? Not because of the work, but because of the mental loop around it. That loop is friction. And friction is what creates fatigue, not effort, friction. Now there are 3 main ways social media creates this friction. The first is approval. Every time you post something, your brain waits for validation, for likes, for comments, for signals that say, you're doing good. And when you get them, you feel a small hit of relief, not joy, relief. Relief that you're not failing. But here's the catch. The moment you depend on approval, you create something to lose. And your brain shifts into defense mode. Now it's not about creating anymore. It's about maintaining an image. And that pressure consumes energy. The second is comparison itself. Every scroll is a new reference point, a new benchmark, a new standard you didn't choose. And your brain keeps adjusting, keeps recalculating, keeps asking, where do I stand now? But this process never ends, because there will always be someone ahead, always someone faster, smarter, richer, better. So your brain stays in a constant loop of measuring, and measuring is exhausting. The third is perfectionism. Social media shows finished products, polished results, perfect moments. So when you create, you feel pressure to match that level. You hesitate, you overthink, you delay, not because you can't do it, but because you don't want to look less than. And that hesitation drains more energy than action ever could. Now imagine this. What if you removed all three? No need for approval, no comparison, no perfectionism. What would happen? You'd still see the same content, but it wouldn't affect you the same way. Because the weight was never in the content, it was in your interpretation of it. There's a concept from ancient philosophy. It says, you suffer not from events, but from your judgment of them. Social media isn't the problem. Your relationship with it is. When Alex understood this, something changed. He didn't delete his apps. He didn't quit social media. He changed one thing, the question he asked himself. Instead of, am I doing as well as them? He asked, am I better than I was yesterday? And that shift removed the gap. Because now, the only reference point was himself. No external standard, no invisible race, just progress. And progress doesn't drain energy, it creates it. He also stopped checking for approval, not completely, but intentionally. He posted and moved on. No refreshing, no waiting, because the moment you detach from the result, you remove the pressure. And when he created, he stopped aiming for perfect. He aimed for done. Because a finished, imperfect action is always more powerful than a perfect idea that never leaves your head. Within weeks, something strange happened. He didn't work less, he didn't sleep more, but he felt lighter, clearer, more focused, because the weight he was carrying was gone. And here's the most important part. Your energy doesn't come from doing less. It comes from removing what drains you. And social media, if used unconsciously, is one of the biggest drains in modern life. Not because of what it is, but because of what it triggers in your mind. So now the question is simple. When you scroll, what are you actually doing? Are you observing, or are you comparing? Are you learning, or are you measuring? Are you creating, or are you seeking approval? Because the difference between feeling inspired and feeling exhausted comes down to that. You don't need to quit social media. You don't need to disappear. You don't need to detox. You need to change the way you engage. Remove the need for approval. Stop comparing to illusions. Let go of perfection. And something remains. Clarity, focus, energy. Because the truth is, you're not tired. You're overloaded. With expectations that aren't yours. Standards you didn't choose. And comparisons that don't reflect reality. Let go of those, and your energy comes back. Not as motivation, not as hype, but as something quieter, more stable, more sustainable. The kind of energy that doesn't disappear at 8 p.m. The kind that lets you move without resistance. Because in the end, the real problem isn't that others are ahead, it's that you keep looking at them instead of walking your own path. And the moment you stop doing that, you realize something. You were never behind, you were just distracted. And energy was never something you needed to find. It's what's left when you stop wasting it.